Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a birth story of Collins, like how it went and everything. This was 6 months ago, so I can't promise like how much I'm gonna like really remember because it was kind of crazy. But okay, so I found out I was pregnant in December, and then I had awful morning sickness, like absolutely awful morning sickness for like months and months. By the time my morning sickness was over with, I found out I had a kidney stone, so I got put in the hospital, just the whole thing. Okay, so pregnancy was awful. At 23 weeks, I found out that I was dilated 1 centimeter, which that's nothing, but for 23 weeks it was kind of odd to be dilated so early. So they just like kept a close watch on me, and everything was fine for a while. And then about 30 weeks, I started having awful, just like cramps and stuff, like Braxton Hicks. And it was like so bad. I don't think it, like now that I look back at it, I don't think it was actual Braxton Hicks. I think it was like real contractions that would like stop and then come back for a couple weeks. It was just awful. And so, I remember one day Forrest and I went shopping before he left for basic training. And we were walking around the mall, and all of a sudden I just felt like this drop, like my stomach just dropped, like as I was walking, just dropped. And I was like, Forrest, something's wrong, like something is wrong. And I immediately was hurting, and I started spotting. And so I called my mom, and she's like, just, you need to go up to the hospital and just get checked. So I called them, and they were like, yeah, you need to come in to monitoring or whatever it's called, OB assessment at the hospital. And they checked me and everything, and I was 2 centimeters dilated. And so I had dilated a centimeter, which is not much, but like I was super early, so I had dilated. And anyways, they kept me for a little bit, and then everything was good. They sent me home. They were just like, you need to be on bed rest, you need to take it easy, whatever. So about a week later, Forrest leaves for basic training. And, I was super stressed and anxious about him leaving and being by myself and everything. So I was like having a hard time, obviously. And we went to the beach before he left. And I was in pain the whole time, but I enjoyed it. But I was definitely in pain. But I think that was the least stressed out I had been. So I was like having a good time and everything. But I knew something wasn't right. I could just like feel that something wasn't right. And so he left, and literally, I'm not kidding you, not even 5 days after he left, I was like 3 or 4 centimeters dilated. I think I was 3 centimeters dilated, and Collins had dropped all the way down. Like, she was like at a -1 or something, which means her head was like already into position to deliver her. So she was like all the way down against my cervix. So the problem with that is like when the baby's head is pushing on the cervix, it's going to soften the cervix, which is going to make you dilate more. So they were really worried about it. And so they put me in the hospital, and they gave me, I don't remember, I think I went to the hospital 2 more times, I think. I'm trying to think. The first time I went to the hospital, like that time, I can't really remember if it was that time or not, but I went to the hospital, they checked me, and I was dilated. So they put me in, they wanted to stop labor because I was technically going into labor. So they wanted to stop the contractions and stop moving it further along. So they gave me, dang it, see, I can't remember anything. All these different medicines to stop the contractions. I don't remember exactly now that I can't remember it. Hang on, let me look at what it is. Hold on. So they gave me antibiotics just to make sure, because they thought I was going to deliver Collins. So they went ahead and gave me antibiotics to make sure I didn't have any infections like Group B strep or any of that. And then they gave me I don't know what the heck it's called. Oh, magnesium sulfate, that's what it was. So they gave me magnesium sulfate, and it made me feel like my body was on fire. Like the inside of my body was just so hot, and I was just having terrible anxiety in the hospital at this time because Forrest had just left. Like, it was going to be a while before he was done basic training. I didn't want to have Collins yet. It was way too early. She was like, I was like 31 weeks pregnant or something. She was going to be very premature, and I just did not want that to happen. I was absolutely terrified. So I was in the hospital for like 3 days, I think, and they gave me all this different medicine and stuff, and I was in so much pain. It was absolutely terrible. I had the world's worst contractions. I mean, I was in the most pain, and they offered me pain medicine, but I am terribly afraid of like taking certain medication. Like, I don't like feeling out of control of my body, so I don't like any medicines that like alter my state of mind at all. So I was hard-headed. I wouldn't take the medicine, so I just bared through these terrible contractions. I mean, so bad. They monitored me for a couple days, and then I had to start going to the doctor every 2 weeks. So actually I went every week for, I think I started going every week at that point, because I was going into preterm labor. So they stopped it. Thankfully it stopped. And then I went home, and I was on bed rest. My mom just like literally stayed with me and made sure I was okay. I slept with her every single night, and she just wanted to make sure that I was okay. I had my hospital bag packed. I literally had everything prepared because I knew it was coming any day. And thankfully we got in touch with Forrest, like through a letter. I was able to let him know what was going on, and he read it and he talked to somebody, and they actually let him call me once a week, or actually it was about every night for a week, and then it was like once a week until I had Collins. So that was really great, because normally they don't get to call home like that. Like, look, Mom, I'm 36 weeks now. They wanted me to get to 36 weeks. I'm tired. My body's tired. Collins is tired. It's time. So I go to OB assessment, really not thinking I was going to have her. I was like, this is just going to be another thing. And I get there, they go to check my cervix, and I just started bleeding everywhere, which scared me at first, but really it was a good sign. Like, it was time to have her. So, I mean, I was so scared, like, I was so scared, but I was so excited. All I cared about was her, like, health and getting Forrest on FaceTime, which, you know, he's at basic training. They're not supposed to do that, but you can call Red Cross, and they'll get it set up where possibly they can FaceTime during the delivery and stuff. And they usually do that for like deployments and stuff like that too. So we were really hoping that it would work out. And we get to the hospital. They do this. I start bleeding. They call my doctor. She's like, all right, well, you know what? It's time. We're going to have this baby tonight. So they go. I'm so excited at this point. Like, honestly, I was scared, but I was so excited to have her. And I was so ready to meet my baby. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I was so excited, and I just was, oh my gosh, look at me getting emotional. I need to stop. But I was so excited. And so, you know, everybody has been like on their toes, like because 1 week I'd be, all right, we're about to have her, we're going in, we know we're gonna have her, and then wouldn't have her. So this time everybody was like, yeah. Well, I didn't want to call anybody until I knew for sure. So we wait until we get to an actual room, like a delivery room, to call anybody. So my mom and dad are there, and then my stepmom, my stepsister comes, my brother, his girlfriend. They make it. They come all the way from Statesboro, and that's a couple hours. And they make it. My best friend Savannah was there. I wanted her in the room, so she comes, and it was time. And so I had the best nurse in the entire world, like absolutely best nurse ever. So we get there, we're in the room and everything. They're getting all the tools and stuff ready. That made me nervous, but I was so excited. Like, I was like, all right, I got this. Like, I'm not even, like, I was in pain, but I had been in pain for so long that it was like, I didn't even feel it anymore, really, I guess. I mean, I felt it, but like, it was just like my mind was like kind of blocking it out at this point. So really, I was having like regular contractions, but didn't feel anything. Like, I was like, all right, I got this. Like, this is nothing. So I was having these strong contractions. I was good. But I still wanted an epidural because I didn't want to feel like me actually delivering her, like pushing her out. That freaked me out. It wasn't the contractions that scared me. It was like the pushing her out and like that thing. Didn't want to feel that. So I did want an epidural. And so my dad is like, this is all happening really fast, y'all. Like, I mean, like by the time they put me back into a room 3 hours later, I had her 3 or 4 hours maybe. I mean, I was like, it was fast. It was very fast. A lot of people go in there for multiple hours or days even. Like, this was fast. And we knew it was going to be like that though. Like, my body was ready. She was ready. So, everybody was there. I was so excited that everybody was there. They were like coming in to check on me. Like only 2 people or 3 people could be in the room at one time, or maybe it was 4 because it was like a big room. I don't remember exactly, but so like they would like come in and swap out so everybody could see me and stuff. And so my dad is calling Red Cross to get this set up with Forrest, and I was just praying that he'd be able to call me and everything. But anyway, so he does get it set up, and he was able to FaceTime me, but he was only able to FaceTime me while I was getting my epidural. So that was kind of sucky. Well, so he FaceTimes me, and the man's coming in to do my epidural. I was scared to scrap about my epidural. I was scared it was going to hurt. And he calls me. I start crying because we're talking, and I'm so excited to see him. And it was the best thing in the world because I did not even focus on my epidural. I had the best nurse too. Like, she held me while I did it, and my mom held the phone so Forrest could watch me and like just talk to me and make me calm. And our nurse was just so sweet. I loved her so much. I don't even remember her name now, but she was great. And Forrest was kind of nervous, obviously, because all the stuff was happening. He wasn't here. He couldn't do anything to help. Like, it was tough for him. But I get the epidural. I did not even feel him put the epidural in. It was nothing. Like, literally, I was so nervous. I didn't feel anything. I didn't even feel a stick. Like, nothing. So I get the epidural, but the epidural doesn't work. It didn't work for me for a while. And I kept telling them, like, the contractions started getting worse and worse. And I was like, okay, I really need some help now. Like, I need something because this is really bad. Like, it got to the point where I literally could not speak at all. Like, it was every 60 seconds I was having a contraction for 60 seconds, and then it was like 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. So I really wasn't getting any kind of break between contractions. They were getting stronger and closer together. And they upped like the dosage on my epidural, and I started feeling it. I mean, I started like getting numb, which was good, and it did help. It helped the pain back. I still feel my legs, but I just could not feel the contractions. So that was a good thing. And they're checking me like every, I say 20 minutes, because I was like dilating a centimeter every 30 minutes or so. Like, it was fast. And at this point, when I got into the hospital, I was already like 5 or 6 centimeters. So I was in active labor. So anyway, it wasn't that bad for me. It was just, it's scary because you're just worried about your baby. You're really not in control of anything, but it was exciting. And it was one of the best experiences of my entire life. Like, I would do that over and over again. Maybe not the pregnancy, because pregnancy was awful, absolutely terrible. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, it was like 12. Like, it was awful pregnancy. But the delivery was easy, the labor was easy, it was great. But so Forrest had to hang up after like 15 minutes of being on FaceTime, and I cried really hard when he hung up because that was really sad. And they said that, okay, call back when she's like about to have the baby. So it wasn't like his cell phone that he was calling me off of. It was like, well, it was a cell phone, but we couldn't call back to his cell phone. We had to call back to like the headquarter office where he was, and then they were like gonna set it up. So the girl comes in and she's like, look, if you feel like you need to push, you tell me. Like, call the nurse if you feel like you need to push. Don't push, but call us. So I got this overwhelming feeling that I needed to push. And like, I could not stop it. It was just like, I needed to push. And I started freaking out. It scared me. She checked me and I was 9 centimeters. So she was like, okay, just a little bit longer. Your daughter's on the way. Had the best daughter in the world too. And so just a little bit longer to hold on. So it's like, okay, I got this. Like, I can hold on. I'm not going to push, whatever. So she walks out of the room, and I'm not kidding you. Immediately after that door shuts, I have to push. So she comes running back in, and I'm 10 centimeters at this point, like ready to push. So she has her hand inside of me holding Colin's head. I'm not kidding you. Her hand is inside of me holding Colin's head until everybody comes in. And they did have to have the NICU team come and wait for my baby, for Collins to be born, because she was 4 weeks early. But she was completely healthy. It was just like a precaution. So, yeah, so everybody comes in. I'm ready. Like, I was nervous to push, but I was ready. So my best friend Savannah was taking pictures. My dad was up here on my right side. Like, I had my hair up, but he was like right here, like talking to me, telling me to push and everything. And then my mom was on my left side. And it was the best setup in the entire world. I'm so thankful for my parents and my friend Savannah. It was the best thing. But I pushed for 30 minutes. I'm not kidding you, mate. I had like 5 sets of pushing, like 3 times, and I had her like that fast. It was easy for me. It was good. It was awesome. And when they put her on my chest, Oh my gosh. It was the best thing in the entire world. And I will insert some pictures right here. But it was literally amazing. Like, when I felt her on my chest, it was the best feeling in the entire world. And I just want to have more now. Like, I'm so in love with being a mom, and it's the best feeling in the entire world. Just knowing that, like, it's scary knowing that she depends on me for everything, but it's also a great feeling. Like, it's a rewarding feeling. I love her more than anything in the entire world. And yeah, so my delivery was great. What I did not expect was them literally like punching you in the stomach after, because they have to get all the blood clots out, and they don't want any clots to like get up there and, you know, make you hemorrhage. So they have to get all that blood out, and they did that while the whole time you're in the hospital. But anyway, so she was born, and she didn't cry for a few seconds, which scared me, but she was fine. She cried, but it was like a wet cry, so obviously they had to like take her over to the side. The NICU team had to look at her and make sure she was good. Her lungs were good. Everything was good. Like, everything was so perfect with her. She was great. In the entire labor, she never, like, her heart rate never dropped. Her oxygen levels never dropped. Like, she was so healthy. I never even had to have oxygen. Like, a lot of women have to get oxygen put on and stuff. I didn't have to have any of that. Like, it was just so smooth, so easy, so fast. And I had her at 12:06 a.m. So she was my little July 23rd baby, and she was due August 15th, so she was almost a whole month early. But it was such a good feeling. It was amazing. So she was healthy. I got to keep her, like, after they checked her out for about 15 minutes or so, they gave her shots and stuff. They did everything they needed to do. And then they gave her to me, and they wanted to see if I needed a catheter or not. So they let me walk to, like, see if I could walk to the bathroom and pee. And I was able immediately, like, I would say like 20 minutes after I had her, and they stopped the medicine on my Epidural, I walked to the bathroom. I peed easy. And a lot of people say that it's hard to pee that first time. It wasn't hard for me. I was nervous about that. And it was super easy for me. I don't know, it was just like a great feeling, and I was excited. So then after a little bit, they rolled us back, and I'll post another picture right here of us going to our new room, and we got to push a little lullaby thing, which means a baby was born, and that was an awesome feeling too. And then we just hung out. We stayed for 2 nights, and it was sweet. I was ready to get out of the hospital. She did have a low blood sugar after she was born, all the way up until we left. That's why she had to stay a little bit longer. So they had to check her blood sugar a lot, which was so sad, because they had to cut her heels, like the bottom of her heels, to like draw blood out of them. And they literally have to cut it like this little tiny razor thing. And she squished. Okay, I'm back. My card was full, so I had to erase some stuff. But anyway, they did have to cut her heels and draw blood. She also failed her hearing test the first time, but then they tested her again right before we left, and she passed, so she was good with that. Forrest was able to FaceTime us the next morning after she was born, and he cried, and I cried, obviously, and it was so amazing letting him see her for the first time, like, obviously on the phone, but it was such a good feeling, because he wasn't able to see her when she was born, because it was too late. I don't even know if I said that, but it was like too late at night, so they weren't able to wake him up. So they called him early the next morning to FaceTime me. And when we went to go see him for the first time, all of his friends from basic training said that when they got called over the intercom, when he got called down, everybody was like so excited, because they knew that she had been born and stuff, and that Forrest like put his clothes on in 5 seconds and ran downstairs, like no time at all. And it's just it's so sweet. Oh my God, I love him. But so yeah, everything was really good. I was good. I did have some, like, the pain after you deliver. It feels like your insides are gonna fall out, as bad as that sounds. Like, when you get up to go to the bathroom and stuff, when you stand up, everything's like, there's so much trauma down in there, so everything literally feels like it's gonna fall out of you. I'm not kidding. I also only had a few stitches down there. It wasn't bad. The worst part was the pain after delivering. That was super bad for me, but I got over that quick. And when we got to go home, it was so freaking amazing. It was the best feeling ever. And as soon as we got home, I put her in her stroller and we went on a walk for the first time. And I wanted to walk because I wanted to get used to this feeling that I was having of like my insides falling out, because I didn't want to like struggle with that. And I also didn't want to be locked up in the house. I was worried about postpartum depression, which I didn't realize it can come like months after you have a baby. And that you can still go through it lots of months after you have a baby like I am now. But anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, so we went on a walk and it was just so good. I did breastfeed for 4 weeks, but I stopped producing breast milk, so I had to just supplement with formula. But I was also supplementing with formula anyway because her blood sugar was low, so she had to have some formula with my breast milk. So that was just a lot in itself. So I just ended up stopping breastfeeding and just giving her formula about 4.5 weeks. Yeah, so the delivery was not bad at all for me. It was scary, but it was not bad. It was not that painful. I was so worried. I mean, I'll have to say, like, I have to like toot my own horn, but I was a trooper. I know I was strong. I didn't cry. Everything was good. It was awesome. So yeah, that's the story of my baby girl Collins, and I definitely want more kids now after that, and after how things have been as a mom. I love being a mom, so I definitely want some more kids when we get to Alaska. And speaking of Alaska, we got our orders. That means Forrest is going to be home in like a week, and then we're going to be leaving in like 3 weeks for Alaska. So I'm so excited. But yeah, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.